Well, another gray H-tank. I'm creative, aren't I? This is Megatron, Siege of Megatron, because I really wanted Earthrise Megatron, but scalpers are, again, the worst. So, I get what I can get, you know. It'll be a while before we get Studio Series Megatron anyway, I'm sure, and, you know, I have opinions on that. So, vehicle mode. I have no negative opinions on this, because it's, like, Cybertronian. Megatron could have turned into a dinosaur for all I care on Cybertron, you know. I really like that they were able to incorporate the fusion cannon into a turret and into the cannon, so it never has to come off his arm. If you don't want to parts form that, you don't have to. I also like how the sword just stores underneath and it barely pokes out the bottom. I don't understand the scope on top of the cannon, though, because, like, why? That's not how... Not only is that not how Earth tank cannons work, Megatron is the tank. He aims the cannon from, you know, inside. So, like, who's looking through this scope? He's not looking through it during robot mode because it's his sword, but you can use it as another cannon. But still, like, huh? And as the bore sighting blade right there, we know there's a sight somewhere here that's not attached directly to the barrel. I don't understand. Future me here, I had to add this. I was looking at this guy, and I realized there's two little dots right there, one on each side, which could be the sight, or one of them could be a sight, one could be a backup. Then I noticed these things, you can't see them, these things, which I've never, like, really paid attention to before, but you look at the top of the turret, they stick out a bit compared to the, you know, the rest of the turret, which immediately makes me think of American heavy prototypes. And now I can't get it out of my head that this futuristic, like, fusion energy firing, quadruple treaded robotic alien tank has a stereoscopic rangefinder. Anyway, he's an H-tank. The front of the hull looks really good. There is hollowness underneath him, obviously. Not too much, but the way they have these panels to fold and hide the hollowness to give the nice slopes is really good. Again, quad track tanks, 2 times as much things to break, but it's Cybertronian, it's cool, it's neat. The feet hang out a bit more than I'd like to. I wish they could fold away a little bit more, but they're not too bad or noticeable. And if you really don't like them, they're really easy to come off, because they come off on me accidentally. A lot. So yeah, the turret can rotate full 360. It has a bit of wiggle up and down if you kind of fudge it, but there's no real elevation depression. So yeah, he's a pretty cool looking tank. I don't have much to say about that. So let's go on the transformation, and then I'll discuss the elephant in the room later. So you pull out this part, and then you can do a bunch of things with it. You can hold it as a gun. It can obviously, in robot mode as well, attach to his fusion cannon. But what you're mainly supposed to do with it is rotate these, fold it down, and rotate these again, and it will lock together, and it will be a sword. Which, not the most feasible sword, but, you know, if you squint, it looks okay. It looks cool. These things, they're pretty loose on my copy, so they haven't already folded down. You're going to fold them down. So get these untabbed, open these, and this really cool sequence order operations. Rotate this up like this to make and keep the hip joint facing the same way. Then you can fold that down and then fold this back up. Standard feet there, flip out the heel, rotate the waist, and there he is. He's peeking out, he's hiding, he's afraid. So, turret should be like this, yes. Unpeg the arms and then just leave them like this for now, because we're going to unpeg the front tracks, bring all this up, and then once it's out of the way, the arms can peg in to the sides. This will all fold down, and there are tabs that will lock everything in securely once you fold the tracks back. Now you fold the hands out, and now let's talk about this guy. First off, the head's on a ball joint. Unlike Cobra Megatron, the head it's at the rear and it's positioned in such a way that he can rotate, but he can't get any really wiggly waggly or up and down. He has this joint, but kind of breaks the look. The fists, they don't rotate or do anything but fold, and they don't swoop into place, and they're these hollow gaps. But otherwise, he doesn't have any hollow spaces. He has a pretty much unencumbered waist rotation because the backpack can move out of the way. But the backpack, as you may know, I'm a gun Megatron purist. Not so much that I don't like Megatron turning into something else, just the fact that I think Hasbro are just complete for not giving him a gun. Especially considering the fact that they own Nerf. They own Nerf. They make tons of fake guns. They literally made a Fortnite AR-15. But they're not willing to make any of their Transformers, even Shockwave and Six Shot, who turn into completely unrealistic, completely like weird, alien, brightly colored laser pistols. They didn't even want to acknowledge their gun modes. They had to be a spaceship or a submarine. I think it's just, cowards. They're cowards for doing that. For not just sticking to their guns and just being afraid of guns. I don't understand. We've seen the press releases. We see their live streams. We see, like, these figures aren't targeted to kids anymore. The Rise of the Beast toys, those are targeted to kids. Earthspark, those are targeted to kids. They may be in the toy section, but just like the Legos, they're targeted more towards the adult fans. They want to get nostalgia stuff. That's the whole point of Studio Series 86. And the whole point of Legacy is literally nostalgia cash grabbing. So, no little kid is going to buy a Earthrise or Studio Series Megatron that turns into a gun and go out and get shot trying to hold up a Walmart. Yes, that has happened. But those are... Do you know how many Megatrons were made? How many Megatrons there are out there? For every one, like 3 cases, for every case that a kid accidentally got killed by doing something stupid with a toy Megatron, there have been a bazillion approximate owners of gun Megatrons who have not had any issues with it whatsoever, who haven't been shot or shot at or anything like that. And it's just proper training. I have, again, a lot of toy guns, a lot of realistic looking toy guns. So the legal aspect isn't there. You can buy these things at Walmart. It's not illegal to sell toy guns. It is just a PR problem. They don't want to be associated with that or any incident happening. And frankly, that's not Hasbro's fault. That should be a parenting problem. Like I said, I have many toy guns. I had many toy guns as a kid. And I wanted to... We were going to a military demonstration. The air cav was gonna... It was this really cool thing at a military base where they had a mock assault unit with some air cav guys come in. They jumped up, rappelled on the helicopter. They assaulted a position. They got hostages out. It was really cool. And I, being this, like, I don't know, a 12, 11-year-old kid, wanted to bring my my toy guns because I was going to the military base. Oh, I want to be a cool army guy too. And Dad, rightfully so, said, no, that's stupid. You might get shot or suspicious, or at least like held up or detained or something like that. So I didn't do it. First off, I don't think any kid is going to buy. I'd be surprised if many kids out there, kids and people under 18, maybe 16, own anything from Earthrise or Siege or Kingdom. And if they did, it's just a simple thing of mom or dad or whatever guardian saying, hey, little Timmy, don't take your toys outside. What are you, maniac? I took my G.I. Joe Pit outside one time to play with it in the sandbox. I'm still getting sand out of it. Never again. But just don't take your Megatron outside. Don't do it. Don't point it at people. It's a toy. You can play cops and robbers with your friends, but don't take it out in public. Don't carry it with you. Don't put it in your pocket and take it to Walmart. just simple parroting things can avoid problems like this. So yeah, I think the problems with Gun Megatron is just fearmonger. But I know that Hasbro is never going to, aside from the Masterpiece series, they're never going to agree with me. All that being said, now that I have this guy, he's Cybertronian, so I'm not going to, worry too much. Studio Series Megatron is going to happen because they got Studio Series Optimus Prime. People are going to riot if they don't. What are they going to do? I have some suggestions and I have some theories. My theory is that he's not going to turn into a gun. Like, even a laser pistol or something like that. They just won't do it. I honestly have seen some art with the, what I think is a good compromise of him turning into like an artillery piece or something like that. So, or like a bazooka, like something that's not self-propelled, so he still has to be manned and operated by another Transformer. I still think he'll be a tank. What I think is going to happen, what I really desperately hope is going to happen, hopefully what we're going to get is a G1 accurate robot mode that turns into a tank, and he comes with a 5mm accessory. Kind of what they did with Browning. That would be an okay compromise, as long as there isn't this giant backpack. I don't mind a backpack, but if we can shrink it down so it's not all this giant big black rectangle and you can't see it, over his shoulders. Like, as long as we have the classic Megatron silhouette and proportions, I'd be fine with that. As long as, I'd be fine with him turning into a tank, as long as we have, the 5mm Megatron. If he does have a big backpack, I don't mind that too much. I think it's a shame, but I'm honestly, yes, once I get Studio Series Megatron, I'm going to do what I want to do with Earthrise. I'm just going to knock the pin out, take the backpack off, and leave him in perpetual robot mode. When I want the gun mode, I just use the 5mm one. And if he doesn't come with a 5mm one, I'm just going to order one because, that's just stupid. Like, I genuinely think that they will give us at least that, because as much as they don't want, they must know how much the fans want him to turn into a gun again. So, I think they're willing to make that compromise, and that's my best guess, and that's my hope and request. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on, the Megatron situation as a whole. This figure, he looks really good. Again, he's a Cybertronian Megatron. He's Megatron, he's dynamic. You have to have a Megatron. He's very G1. His proportions are very good. I don't want to say anything bad about this guy, because there's nothing wrong with him. He's a really good figure, and he's a really good Megatron. He's not exactly what I was looking for, but he's a great placeholder, and I don't mind having him in my collection. And even once I get Studio Series, when they inevitably come out with him, I'm still not going to get rid of him, because I still like him. He is an interpretation of G1 Megatron. He's a good interpretation of G1 Megatron. He's just not my favorite and preferred interpretation of G1 Megatron. It's just not exactly what I'm looking for, but still really good and still perfectly serviceable.